Welcome to Warrior Quiz. 50 quiz question about PARAFAL.
10 points will be given for each correct answer. Comment below correct answer and get points. Let's go.
What type of weapon is PARAFAL? Of course, battle rifle. PARAFAL primary fire mode is exactly semi-auto. Which ammo does PARAFAL use? Yes, 7.62 NATO. What is PARAFAL's typical damage? Exactly, high damage. Which range suits PARAFAL best? Yes, medium range. PARAFAL's reload speed compared to of course, moderate speed. PARAFAL's recoil is generally exactly moderate kick. What is common PARAFAL magazine size? Yes, 30 rounds. PARAFAL often used by which class? Of course, assault class. Which attachment improves PARAFAL accuracy? Exactly, vertical grip. Which sight commonly used on PARAFAL? Yes, red dot sight. PARAFAL's hip fire spread is exactly moderate spread. Which perk suits PARAFAL players? Of course, fast reload. What mobility with PARAFAL is like? Yes, decent mobility. PARAFAL's time to kill generally is exactly low TTK. Which map zone favors PARAFAL play? Yes, urban mid-range. Which firing mode useful for burst? Exactly, semi-auto. What is PARAFAL's effective penetration? Of course, medium penetration. Which movement tactic suits PARAFAL best? Yes, running gun. PARAFAL best paired with which second? Exactly, pistol. Which ammo pickup benefits PARAFAL most? Of course, rifle ammo. PARAFAL's typical range follow begins. Yes, moderate distance. Which stat is highest for PARAFAL? Exactly, damage per shot. What best counters PARAFAL at distance? Of course, sniper rifles. PARAFAL's reload animation feels. Yes, slowish but smooth. Which map gadget pairs well with PARAFAL? Exactly, smoke grenade. PARAFAL used in which game mode often? Of course, defend objective. What is PARAFAL's hip fire recoil like? Yes, manageable. PARAFAL's sound profile is described. Exactly, loud and punchy. Which armor reduces PARAFAL effectiveness? Of course, heavy armor. PARAFAL best used with which playstyle? Yes, aggressive push. What's PARAFAL's reload cancelable? Exactly, yes, by melee. PARAFAL's burst accuracy compared to... Of course, better than auto. Which camouflage suits PARAFAL visions? Yes, urban camo. PARAFAL's iron sight alignment is... Exactly, easy to use. Which movement penalty exists when aiming? Of course, slight decrease. PARAFAL can equip which muzzle model? Yes, suppressor. PARAFAL's equip time compared to? Exactly, faster than rifle. Which melee complements PARAFAL users? Of course, combat knife. PARAFAL damage versus armored target is... Yes, significantly reduced. Which statistic improves with recoil mod? Exactly, accuracy. PARAFAL popular among which players? Of course, tactical players. Best engagement distance for PARAFAL approximately. Yes, 10 to 30 meters. Which attachment increases fire rate? Exactly, Fire rate mod. PARAFAL's sprint to fire time feels. Of course, fast recovery. PARAFAL's pricing game usually is yes, mid-tier cost. Which visual effect shows hit confirmation? Exactly, blood splatter. PARAFAL best for which squad role? Of course, entry fragger. Which recoil pattern does PARAFAL have? Yes, vertical, then horizontal. PARAFAL's typical customization is exactly, moderate options. I hope you get many points, subscribe my channel, and get more points.